Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with my post-fight discussion video for Mackenzie Dern versus Virna Jandiroba. All right, y'all, this fight here, man, it really turned out to be a different texture of a fight. Both fighters chose to stand up, and I found it interesting and exciting. For two fighters that we don't really give enough credit for as far as their stand-up, they really turned into, two stand-up strikers. They're two grapplers, but they chose to just strike it out, and they put on a pretty exciting fight. In my opinion, I felt like Virna Jandiroba actually had the better fluid footwork in there, and she was a lot busier. Whereas Mackenzie Dern was looking for the power shot. She was stalking and landed a good, hard, stiff jab up the middle, but she wasn't really landing in combinations. She was still having trouble letting off combinations, still having trouble timing Virna Jandiroba, and also not moving her head enough. I think she did well in the first round. She put on some good pressure. She applied good pressure to Virna Jandiroba, landed a good stiff jab. But after that first round, I feel like Virna Jandiroba just really settled in, and she started landing some good straight shots up the middle, moving around, very fluid in the second round. Got some good work in on the ground. The third round was pretty close, in my opinion. I think the third round, Mackenzie Dern had some good moments. She landed some good shots here and there, like a good couple of body kicks and good right hands, but the busier fighter to me was Virna Jandiroba. And I know how judges are. Like, these judges, they don't really appreciate good work. Like, if you're landing volume off the back foot, if you're moving and you're countering and you're making a fighter miss and you're still pot shotting them, they don't really count that. They look for like single shots that'll wobble an opponent, which, I don't really agree with. Like, if an opponent is landing effective combinations, even though if they don't damage you, like knock you out or rock you, I still got to give it to that fighter, especially if they're doing damage, because Virna Jandiroba was doing damage in this fight. Knees, right hands, and jabs. Maybe just not as powerful as Mackenzie Dern, but I think she won the fight. To me, it was 2-1 for Virna Jandiroba. Just going back and look at the first round, I give it to Mackenzie Dern. I think that she applied the better pressure, a good, stiff, solid jab, walking Virna Jandiroba down. But Virna Jandiroba opened the opening minute with a good 1-2 now. Like, the commentators, I didn't really hear them talk about that, but she landed a good 1-2, and you could hear that 2 thud on the head. So she landed a good shot in there. She was bouncing around nicely on her feet too, but Mackenzie Dern was doing a good job of cutting the octagon off in the first round. Jandiroba was able to fend off one of Mackenzie Dern's takedowns and ended the round with a good right hand, which kind of changed the rhythm of the fight. And I could see right there that Jandiroba was looking pretty impressive on her feet. She turned the stand-up around the second round, in my opinion. Picking her shots, timing Mackenzie Dern every time she would step in, because Mackenzie Dern's not moving her head. She's trying to go in and land single shots, or she'll kind of flurry wild still. And Jandiroba was able to back off, step off the back foot and land a good jab and good right hand up the middle. There was an eye poke too in like the middle of the fight where Jandiroba had to get a little recovery time. I think it kind of slowed her down, but she picked back up. She stuffed another takedown by Dern, and once they got into clinch again after that, Jandiroba was able to take Mackenzie Dern down and get in some good work. Now, before that, in the second round, Jandiroba did land a good knee followed by a right hand. Knee right to the face, and then she followed up with another right hand. And then there was another moment where she landed another big knee to the bridge of the nose, opened up a big cut on Mackenzie Dern's nose. Then she took her to the ground and just got in some good work and had Mackenzie Dern bleeding bad. The blood was pouring. But shout out to the cutmen. They did a good job when she came out for the third round. Last round, Dern, she came out strong, trying to put pressure on. Jandiroba pumping them stiff jabs out, just catching Dern. Like, Dern's coming straight in. She's trying to go for that knockout and land stiff jabs, but she's also eating shots. Dern is just really walking into a lot of Jandiroba's offense. Jandiroba's actually timing her and landing and moving off the back foot. Dern did land a few good body kicks in this round to slow Jandiroba down, and whenever Jandiroba went kind of stationary, she was able to catch Jandiroba with a big right hand that sent her reeling back into the fence. And instead of following up, Dern went in for a clinch. Like, see, that's the thing about her striking. Like, when you hurt somebody with the right hand, you got to follow up with the left, right, and get them down. But she hits her with the one and goes in for a clinch and tries to take her down. And Jandiroba actually countered and got the takedown. Jandiroba was actually able to stand back up, go right back to pumping out 1-2s. Not the hardest 1-2s, but she's landing 1-2s, and then she follows up and switches with a good elbow in there too. So Dern is eating a lot of punches. She's taking a lot of shots, but she's still eating a lot of shots. Now, Dern is giving out a couple of good hard body kicks. Like I said, I think the judges were giving the rounds to giving this round to Dern off of these single shots. But to me, I felt like Jandiroba was doing, I think she was just doing the better work. Towards the end of the round, Jandiroba pulled guard and tried to, she got on her back and tried to get an armbar attempt, which to me, that wasn't smart, because she could have just finished the round on her feet and just got in some more work and probably taken the round that way. But when she went down to the ground, Mackenzie Dern wound up on top. And I think the judges also tried to use that as an excuse to give Dern that round as well. I had the fight 2-1 for Virna Jandiroba. I feel like she came on strong in round 2, dominated, and like I said, busted Dern up and actually showcased better footwork and timing. And I know the judges, like I said, they don't really like fighting off the back foot, but you got to score it, man, because it's still a type of offense. You're still going in there, you're still working. It's still hit, not get hit, in my opinion. If you're doing the damage, then why are you not winning the round? I know Mackenzie Dern is going forward and she's landing good single hard shots, but you got to look at the person who's landing good, a sequence of good shots, even if they're off the back foot. So all in all, I gave it 2-1 for Jandiroba, but of course Mackenzie Dern, she won this fight she won it 2 rounds to 1. But overall, man, Mackenzie Dern, she still needs work on her striking. In no way did I ever say that she was like the best striker. I felt like her striking would have been a key in this fight if Virna Jandiroba chose to take it to the ground. But Jandiroba actually stood in this fight and looked more impressive, in my opinion. She was good on her feet, good jab, staying busy, really stayed out of harm's way. She ate a couple big right hands, but knew how to recover, knew how to go on the back foot, which was smart. Dern, on the other hand, like I said, needs to work on her head movement and her timing. Once he starts to get those things together and starts learning more how to, control her killer instinct when she goes wild, I think she'll get better and better. It's a work in progress. Nobody gets better overnight. And like I said, no way was I saying she's one of the best strikers just off a couple of sessions with Jason Perillo. Nah, still takes work. I'm more so giving her the credit for taking the initiative. Big difference. Giving her the credit for taking that initiative of going in there and say, I need to, polish up my hand game. As for Virna Jandiroba, I think she did a solid job. Maybe she'll want to step it up and sit down more on her shots, because I think the pace of this fight and the way she was fighting was kind of like Angela Hill on her feet. They're not going to give her a decision if she continues to fight like this. So she needs to be a little bit more aggressive and then go for what she knows, taking it to the ground. From here, Mackenzie Dern, I still don't see her striking with the best of the strawweights. The best strawweights out there that can strike are still going to piece her up. So that's something she's going to need to work on. Just work on her strength and take fights to the ground. Same with Virna Jandiroba. I want to see her sit down on her shots a little bit more. And I want to see her get back in there as soon as possible. Loma Labutni for any of these fighters. That would be a good matchup for either one. Let me know, guys, what y'all think. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.